I'm going to the top, so I'm mowing Johnny Knots. Hip-hop don't stop, so the beat I drop. Top of the charts on Reverb Nation, from St. Bart's to all the Haitians. From the start right to flotation, from my heart it's captivation. Number one is where I'm rating. You knew it was my fate, and all you haters keep on hating, cause my ego is inflamed. Born ready, died waiting, torn teddy, she'll be made. With me there's no debating, cause the Tyler is creating. Welcome to the Late Night with Bobby Tyler show. I'm your host, Bobby Tyler, and we got a great show for you tonight. Yep. We were going to call this like Tales from the Crib because everybody was on lockdown and I was doing it out of the garage, right? So, yeah, and you guys heard or tried that DoorDash? Yeah, I thought they were saying Jordash, so I ordered it and they sent me like a pair of pants or something. And then it's like grubworms.com, you know. Did anybody get that stimulus package yet? You know, that stimulates my package. So this show should air in September, which is my birthday. I'll be 63. And should be August, you should be getting another stimulus package, okay? So I wanted to get reparations for like 400 years in Egypt building pyramids and just slaving away. But not really, because I'm not even Jewish, actually. So I was trying to represent it at a party. This one guy was like, hey, Black Power. And I was like, yeah. And this other cat, he's like, brown pride. And I'm like, cool. And then I was like, wait, no. That's right. I had to renounce my whole race. I have nothing to be proud of. Ain't that a shame? And literally, right? So this one girl was on Facebook. She was saying, Black Wives Matter, wives. And I thought she had a list, like, Black Wives Matter. And then some other girl, she's typing, all wives matter. I was like, not mine. They all ran off, right? But I'm honest. And honesty is the best policy. Depends on your career. If you're a politician, or you're a drug dealer, you're like, hey, yes, officer, I got 25 kilos of cocaine in the trunk. Nah, I'm not going to help you, right? Kanye's running for president 2020, right, on the birthday party. So we have a fantastic show for you tonight. We have the Platters interview with Joe Coleman. Yeah, so we'll be right, stay back, we'll be right tuned. Don't touch that dial. If you still have a dial, right? Yeah, so welcome back to the show. Yeah, we'd like to introduce our first guest, Joe Coleman, ladies and gentlemen, from the Platters. The Platters, man, straight out of near Washington, D.C., in the house. How you doing?
Man, how are you, Bobby? How's it going, man?
So good. Good to see you, you know. How did it feel to get inducted into the Platters? First of all,
man, that was an exciting experience for sure. One of the great groups of our time, you know, and to be able to sing that music and keep the legend alive, and to be able to keep that music going and introduce it to a new audience is just an amazing thing. Tremendous opportunity.
And what was your three favorite songs from the Platters? And you know the Platters, right? You know, they were spinning platters. I used to DJ, you know, and we'd spin discs. They're discs. They're pressed in wax. They're records. They're look like plates, but they're so that's how you got the name, right? The Platters, because they're spinning discs.
That's right. That's where the name came from. Was the Platters? Yep, it's spinning platters. So figured the way to get the DJs to mention our name all the time was because they were always talking about, we're going to spin a new platter.
We're going to spin the platter, and they had to, right?
Yeah.
And then they had to put you up too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's how that all got started. What was your three favorite songs out of the Platters?
Well, I would start with one of my real favorites. Only you can make this world seem right. I love that song.
Right.
And then of course there's they asked me how I knew my true love was true. Oh, you know, smoke gets in your eyes.
Right.
And then there was one more song that just really touches my heart. I'll start by saying that both of my parents were in the ministry. They were both Baptist ministers, mom and dad. And though this is not a gospel song or religious song, but it puts me in that frame of mind whenever I sing it. When the twilight is gone and no songbirds are singing, when the twilight is gone, you come into my heart. My prayer.
My prayer.
My prayer is to linger with you. Yeah. Now that I really, really, really love that song.
Yeah, I lost my falsetto. My brother choked me out and crushed my larynx, so I can't hit any high notes anymore.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
goodness.
that was on my list too. I liked Only You, and I liked Harbor Lights. I didn't even know I thought Elvis put that right. Oh, the harbor lights. And
The Harbor Lights.
Twilight Time. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. Yeah.
Unchained Melody.
Oh,
But I did put Only You on my list, on my short list. Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and all those. I mean, those just. I mean, it's just great, great, great songs.
They're
Just some
all
wonderful stuff.
they're all great. They're all great songs. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how many gold records and platinum records and awards come in off
Let me see. Well, the group,
Hall of Fames?
had yeah, had 15 gold records and about 40 hits, yeah.
Man,
Of course, culminating with the Hall of Fame and that sort of thing in 1990, inducted into the
inducted.
Rock and Roll Hall of
Yeah,
Fame.
yeah.
Yeah, so that just the group was deserving of all that stuff. Just some amazing music. The guy Buck Ram, who was the manager, wrote a lot of those hits, and
Oh
went
yeah.
from there.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, for those young whippersnappers out there, they Google it. So, yeah, 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 yeah.
Right.
But as baby boomers, and I was born in
Mhm.
'57, more people born that year than any other year, I think. So the biggest population should be about my age, right? So that should be the
Mhm.
audience for
Yeah,
sure, the
yeah.
target, the demographic, and,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
but younger kids, they went to the fair last year, the year before, and the Spinners were playing, and so I got
Yeah.
them on the show, and so
Yeah.
so they're picking up, right, these.
Right. Young people are starting. Our audience is actually getting younger. A lot of younger people at our shows, curious about that music, and hearing it from other kind of on other kind of mediums, and getting curious, and sometimes being dragged to the show by their parents or their grandparents,
Right?
thinking they were going to have a good time, and only to come up to me and say, "Man, I'm just surprised how much we really enjoyed the show and the music and that sort of thing." So yeah,
Yeah,
so
it
the
runs
music
it runs
to
shivers up
survive.
it runs shivers up your spine. Some of these
Yeah,
songs. I
yeah,
mean, it's like
yeah,
magic,
yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
like
That's
it's
right.
it's
Yeah.
wild. You know. So
Hmm.
you're over in.
Another great song, another great song, "Magic Touch." You got the magic touch. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like Blue Moon, stuff like that too.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The Great Pretender.
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
there's.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on, right? So you're out of where, Washington D.C. right now, in that area, in that general
Yeah,
vicinity.
right now, I'm in DC. I lived in New York City for about 25 years. I still have my apartment there. Uh, but with all that was going on with the COVID-19 and that sort of thing, I kind of escaped and came
Yeah,
down and hang out with family down here in the Washington area. And
right.
and I grew up here. I grew up in Washington D.C.
Yeah,
As a little fella. So just kind of came home, chilling, trying to
yeah.
wait till things open up and then get back to business.
Right? Yeah, my sister, she's out of that area. But see,
Hmm.
she's in her 80s. My brothers are in their 70s and stuff. And so I grew up
Uh,
listening to like 50s music right off the bat, right? Right out of the right
yeah,
out of the
yeah,
right out of the cage,
yeah.
because
Hmm.
doo wop
Hmm.
and stuff like that, especially in the late 50s. I just You know, that's the first thing I'm hearing in my household. You know, now she's in Washington State. She's up there, and her kid's working with Microsoft, Bill Gates or something. You know, so he's.
Oh my goodness, I see.
But yeah. She's from that general area. You know, so that's how I grew up listening to, you know, a lot of music. Big brothers
it's
and
a great
sisters.
area. A lot of great, great music came out of this area. You know.
Oh yeah. And
Pookie Hudson, Daniels, and you know, the Fat Boy.
Right.
And I do love you. You know, Billy Stewart and all those guys out here, out of DC and all of that. So
that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. So, where were you actually? Were you born in New York, or are you born in? Where were you born?
I was born in a little.
Where?
I was born in a little place called Clover, Virginia. It's about that big.
Right.
Clover, Virginia. Clover, Virginia. It's down near. It's almost to North Carolina. It's way down in rural Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Rural country.
The other end of the state from where you're at. Yeah.
Yeah. But we moved to DC when I was just a wee lass, probably 4 years old or something like that, 3 or 4 years old. Yeah. And I lived in DC all through high school and then made my move to New York to seek fame and fortune.
Right.
So
I was up in that general vicinity back in like 1960 something, DC and Virginia and such. It's a pretty nice country. Yeah.
Yeah, in school, DC was like a party town. There was always a lot of house parties every weekend. So we were immersed with music constantly, just hanging and partying, and it was amazing, amazing town.
I remember we went to what was it, Jamestown, and what was the other one, Williamsburg. Yeah, stuff like that in that nearby there. Yeah. What's your weather like today? Is it hot? Are you guys?
It is hot. It's been in the upper 80s and the 90s, but up to like 94, 95. So it's been pretty hot. It's been pretty hot.
And then you guys get a lot of snow, right, in the winter, right?
Normally for a while over the last several years we've hardly had any snow at all. But I guess it's all attributable probably to the current climate situation,
global warming.
Global warming and stuff. So we've not had a big snow in a few years now. Dang. But it was not unusual growing up. But now, of late, it hasn't been a whole lot of snow.
Now you got a new book out or coming out, right? A book.
Yes, out. It's a book. It's
these gold records on the wall back here. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called, with my group here, it's called My Time to Shine. Yep. My Time to Shine.
Nice.
And it's pictured here. This is Glenn Leonard, who sang with the Temptations for about 10 years. He's the high tenor voice on their version of Silent Night. And he did about 10 albums with them, with Melvin and Otis and Richard Street and Dennis Edwards and Otis, of course. And this is Joe Blunt. He sang with the Drifters for about 10 years with Johnny Moore and Benny King. I did a lot of work with Benny King myself.
Right.
But it's a book about our lives. We're all DC natives. We all grew up together. I've known this guy, Joe Blunt, since we were about 7 or 8 years old. His mom and my mom were co-directors of the junior choir at our church, Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. And so I've known him at that time. And it's available on Amazon Books.
Books. And read the title. And the title again is
My Time to Shine.
My Time to Shine. That's the ticket
right there. Our publisher, Headline Books, won the publisher of the Independent Publisher of the Year award in 2018, 2019. So it's legit. It's not crayons and all that stuff. Headlinebooks.com or Amazon Books. You can grab the book and read all about us.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to get a copy. If I get a copy, you got to autograph it. Right? You got to sign
Okay,
it.
we'll work it
And I
out.
won't slide no contracts underneath when you sign it. You know, something like
Okay.
some people, right? You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of sharks in
Uh,
the industries. You know, right.
oh my
That
goodness.
that one cat, Billy Bannister, he's out of the Temptations too, but he living down in Nassau right now. You know, uh,
Uh-huh. Is that right? That
yeah,
where
yeah,
he is?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
gonna have him on the show soon, you know, and stuff like
Well,
that.
you
When
know,
speaking of, go ahead.
mhm. I'm singing with a former member of the Temps and the Tops right now. We're in a group. I have a new group called Voices of Classic Soul, right? That gentleman, Joe Blunt, that I said well, I've known since '78 from the Drifters.
I've heard of him.
Myself,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and Theo Peoples. You probably heard of Theo. He's the only guy in Motown history to sing lead for both the Temptations and the Four Tops. He sang with the Tops for Temps for about 6 years, and he sang with the Tops for about at least 12 years. Took Levi's place.
Right.
Levi handed the mic to him, turned the mic over to him on stage in Las Vegas, and said, "You got it." And Levi left the stage and gave the mantle to Theo. So Theo Peoples out of St. Louis is my new stage mate and an amazing guy and a tremendous vocal talent. He can
Yes.
really sing. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, we had some of the Four Tops on and some of the Drifters, Ink Spots,
Uh-huh.
Platters, the
Wow.
Spinners. You know, we're
Hmm.
kind of doing like a lot of cool stuff right now. You know, on the show, especially since lockdown,
Yeah.
because I was doing it out of the garage. I did about 16 shows in about 16 days because everybody was on lockdown. They were bored. You know, so I was just like, we're gonna call it Tales
Like,
from the Crib because we are all just doing it right
yeah, man.
out of the
Woo.
recording studio. You know,
Yeah.
so. But yeah, a whole slew of these cats, you know. Speaking of Nassau,
Hmm.
you know, in the Caribbean, of course we didn't say Caribbean, but I'm saying Caribbean. Where you go on vacation, where you like to go? You like tropics or the desert, mountains, snow? What? When you go out on the world, I know you
Uh,
world tour. So where you like? What part of the earth you like to stay when you're
that's a really
kicking
good
it?
question. I don't get,
Not
I
working,
travel so much.
but kicking it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I travel so much until I actually almost don't do vacations like that.
What about
But
Japan? Probably Japan,
I
because I see that Japanese stuff up
woo,
there on the shelf.
yeah, I love Japan. Benny, I told you, Benny
Benny
King and
King.
I toured over the last until he passed 2 years ago, I guess. We would do annual tours over there together. I love Japan. I loved Hong Kong, uh, China, places like that. I love it because I like to be places that are different, that feel
Yeah,
different.
exotic.
You know,
You know.
the exotic. I'm going
Yeah,
somewhere and it's. I'm not back in New York. I mean, you know what I mean. So, so yeah. So I don't really vacation like that much, but yeah, I do enjoy Bermuda and
yeah.
Paradise Island and places like that. I do enjoy that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed. I
yeah,
just like in near the water. If you can get me close to the water, I'm good.
yeah. Yeah, I cut through China
Yeah.
about 6 times, Vietnam about 3 times in there.
Mhm.
I like the exotic. It's different culture, different
Yeah.
environment, different weather,
Yeah.
everything, the food, the people,
Yeah.
everything. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
you can go on vacation and I'm gonna go to Los Angeles. Oh, I don't know about that, right? Yeah, yeah. Old,
Yeah, I'm
old,
with you.
old potatoes, right?
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
Yeah,
Now I
yeah, yeah.
have to tell you, now, I did go on vacation. It was kind of it ended up being a vacation. I went over. I was booked to do a show in Greece,
Oh, yeah.
uh, just outside of Athens, and so I went over for to do one show, but I stayed 10 days.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, I stayed 10 days. I stayed at a resort called Litohoro, and man, it was between the food and the people and the weather was just beautiful.
And the
It was an
women,
amazing.
and
Uh, uh,
I'm just kidding. Yeah, 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 yeah.
uh,
They got those instruments like balalaikas, the musical instruments in Greece, kind of like
yeah,
a
man.
Russian instrument almost,
Yeah, they got so much soul. I mean, it's almost like what I mean. They really have a whole another kind of energy. It's very soulful, very earthy. Yeah.
I like those musical instruments they got out there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I went to Mykonos and Athens, and, I love to say this word, Thessaloniki. I went to Thessaloniki, and
Nice,
yeah,
right? Boy, howdy.
it was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
Now, do you got any
I
like?
recommend it now. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Greece. I haven't been there yet, but mostly I've been to Mexico. Hey, but I've been to Mazatlan. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
do you have any
that'll
like
work.
who were your role models and your heroes? Who inspired you like coming up as a youth? You know,
Mm-hmm. As a kid, huh?
was
Um, well,
was it me? No, just kidding.
well, you could have been on that one. Yeah, yeah. There were just some cats that kind of were inspiring on many levels. First of all, I'll start with my parents because they were so progressive in their thinking. They were looking for something better. You know what I mean? But you know, some of the artists, like Louis Armstrong and those guys were inspirational. Martin Luther King was just an inspiration, just the power of his energy. The Sarah Vaughan, I just loved her just overall flavor, the way she took a song and just mesmerized you with it and that sort of thing. Sam Cooke, because he was such a young guy who just took over his own career.
Sam
You know,
Cooke.
he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
one of the yeah, he was one of the few guys that he had his own publishing, his own record company. He was one of the few guys that actually kept their money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And back in that day, because he had control of all those kind of things. And but we kind of, it was interesting to see guys like that to really say, well, these are the guys you need to tune in on and pay attention to.
It always surprised me when somebody say that their hero was their parents. You know,
Yeah.
and I hear that. And I interviewed my youngest son. He's 25, and he was on like worldwide TV when he was one because he was talking at 3 months old and so. And I said, "Who are your heroes? Who inspired?" He said, "Well, you." And I'm like, "What?" I didn't come out of left field. I had no, And then since then, a lot of people I interviewed, they say, "Yeah, my parents were
Hmm.
my first hero." And I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what? My parents, I didn't even. They're always out drinking and beating kids up and drunk and I was like, geez, I don't want to be like that when I grow up. It's like, it's like, you know,
But they're watching. They're watching everything you do. So
yeah.
you can, if you do,
Oh,
they're watching. You can show. Oh, Dad is
right,
very cool. He's a cool guy. He's hustling, trying to make it happen.
right, right.
Yeah.
So we got like
Mhm.
a few minutes left. See how fast that goes by?
I'm
That goes
telling you.
pretty quick,
Wow.
right? Yeah, yeah. I know. It's like boy howdy, right? So what kind of restaurants and cuisine and food do you like uh, that inspires you to make all this music?
Well,
And soul food, inspire the
well,
soul, right?
it definitely all started with soul food because that's what it was. I always tell
Yeah, because you were in the
talk
South. You
about,
were in Virginia. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Down by
yeah.
I forgot
And I
South Carolina almost practically. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I always tell people, my father, who's a Baptist minister, and every Sunday it had to be fried chicken. And I remember distinctly one particular time when my mother said, "Well, let me just be creative a little bit." So she cooked a ham, she did a pot roast, she did all kinds of stuff. Had a table full of food, and I could see my father looking around like, where's the chicken?"
Oh man. Yeah, yeah.
But to
Traditional.
answer your question,
Yes, sir.
yeah, yeah. But to answer your question, I'm going to get a little boring now because over these recent years, in an effort to try to hold on to myself, I've gone more toward the vegan world.
Right.
I've cut down almost no chicken, almost no fish. And everything is grains and vegetables and that sort of thing. So I eat a lot of vegan food right now, and I'm getting better at understanding how to prepare it so that it tastes good. But
Right.
so that's where I'm at nowadays. I'm eating a lot more fruit and vegetables and and vegan style food, and cut down on the cheese and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
that's just
dairy's not that good
more,
for you. Dairy,
more
that'll make you sick. That dairy, yeah. And I've been doing the gluten free for about a year. You know, I'm like, I'm checking, is this microphone gluten free? You know, I'm like checking everything.
Yeah.
You know, so, all right. Well, you got got any shout outs you want to do? I guess we're out of here. Time's up. All right.
Yeah, well, hey,
Time fly when you're having fun.
Yeah. We'll say hey to all my peeps out there. You know, we'll be back as voices of classic soul. Joe Blunt from the Drifters, Theo Peoples from the Temps and the Platters. Wow, listen to me. I'm getting dizzy now. From the Temps and the Tops and Joe Coleman from the Platters, voices of classic soul. We'll be back. I know it's been a long time. We just stay safe, wear that mask, keep that distance, and let's get through this so we can get back to business. Love
Yes,
you guys.
sir.
For real.
Love you more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'd like to thank our guests today, Joe Coleman, the Platters, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank our audience, our TV land audience, which is not here. So we're going to do some canned laughter and applause later probably. You know, so God bless you and yours. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. I know you see that little thing down in the corner right there. Yeah, that little, hit that button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, right? So God bless you and yours. Pretty much we are Space Ghost from the West Coast, and we leave on a high note, but I got to crush larynx, so we're not going to even do that, right? Just going to roll some commercials and roll the credit. And we out of here. Yeah. That's the ticket.
Night with Bobby Tyler Show. Stay in touch. Transportation provided by Rolls Royce, Cadillac, Lincoln, and Mercedes-Benz. The Late Night with Bobby Tyler Show is brought to you by Auto City, on Sosco by the railroad tracks, Audio House right next door, Napa Gold and Silver on Jefferson Street, by Burger King, where kids are king, Emmy Lou's Diner, right in the River Park Shopping Center, Polish Nails and Spa by Jamba Juice, Knob Hill, not the Snob Hill, Doc's Trophy Shop on Jefferson Street, across from McDonald's, Air in Motion on Solano, between Lincoln and Pueblo, Sal the Flower Guy next to Napa High on Jefferson Street, Dr. Fraser on Jefferson Street. Follow us on TikTok, you don't stop, at Tyler Mall 2, Tyler MAUL 2. Late Night with Bobby Tyler Show is filmed in the Napa Valley TV studios in Napa, California. Yeah.
Craft services provided by Small World Restaurant, 928 Coon Street in Napa. Mr. Tyler's Hair and Makeup by Hair in Motion on Solano. Mr. Tyler's Wardrobe provided by Yo Mama. Have gall trying to glimpse the cheek. They stand tall or crawl to get next to me. I'm tall 'em all, going down in history. Standing tall, and it's no mystery. I don't fall, the future is just for me. Baby doll, fame and fortune is first, you see. I don't stall, Niagara Falls flows the sea. I'm the baddest damn rapper that there ever could be. Tell 'em all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell 'em all, I'm having a ball. Leave a message, baby, maybe I'll call. Tell 'em all, and I don't stall. You know the words just flow like Niagara Falls. Tell 'em all, I'm having a ball. Leave a message, baby, maybe I'll call. The T is for tremendous, the why not? The L is for lucky, the E for excellent. The R is for royal, cause that's what I am. So come on everybody and bump this jam. The pecker wood, more wood than woodpeckers. Checking the mic, cause I'm the mic checker. All you party people dress so fine. I'm about to entertain you and blow your mind. Tell 'em all, and I don't